Okay, I am getting to the braining part of tanning two white-tailed deer hides. One is a fawn. Well, it's a fawn, but it's a pretty big fawn. And then the other is a small roadkill. They're both roadkills, but the other is just a small roadkill, probably a yearling, but just a small deer, like smaller than the fawn. I don't even know how it's possible, but that happens actually. Here they are. This is the fawn, calling it follow deer because it looks like it would have followed its mother. And this is the yearling, and they both look pretty good. And the reason I'm not doing buckskin is because these are smaller hides. And I like to save bigger hides for buckskin because you make more money off of bigger hides. You won't make a lot of money making buckskin out of these because if you think about it, you're breaking it into sections when you make stuff out of it. So at least I do anyway. So these will be worth more as wall hangers. People hang the follow deer in front of their doors. I know certain people who do that. And then these, who doesn't want a little rug, right? And so these will make good projects or hangers for someone. So yeah, these were fleshed the day I got them. And I got them about a month and a half ago when I had just got back from the boat. So they were pretty blue. They are pretty blue. The fawn is less blue, maybe because of age, and the skin is pretty thin. And then this one's really blue. I was stretching it a little, which is why it has a little less blue complexion. But since I got these in September, they're blue. But that's okay because we can work around that when we tan them. It's not going to affect us too much here. It's not like they're fur bearers. I'm really happy to have them. So we'll apply the brain here in a minute. All right, so the brain has cooled down a bit from what it was before. This brain that I've made tonight was cow brain, and the reason I did cow instead of deer or pork is because I have access to cow heads where I work, because I work at a butcher shop right now, Woods Butchering, and so I can take brains from local butcher shops and farmers, and they can offer me cow brains. And deer brains I tend to only use if the carcass is pretty fresh. So I don't usually, I'll take roadkill brains, but I usually don't end up saving them unless it's a good tanning season. But I've been pretty busy lately, so it's been a little slow on saving roadkill brains. But here we have this is, and it's not as creamy as I like it, but it's a little bit chunky. But what I did was I just barely covered the brains in water, and then I let them go and I stirred them until they were boiling. That's how you want to do it. Just keep it stirring until it's got a little bubbling. If you let it sit and it looks like it's a simmering soup or something, that's where you want it to be. And usually if you use less water, the brain comes out a little creamier. Just depends on your recipe, I guess. I let these dry, but I did this process a little bit rushed, which you're never really supposed to do. But I've done a lot of these, so I kind of understand when they're supposed to be brained. When you can hear, it's like a damp feel and a damp look, but almost dry. It's like if you could imagine what semi-dry feels like. That's what you're looking for in a hide when you brain it, because you don't want it to be wet, otherwise your brain won't make it through. But if it's too dry, your brain might not do anything, because then it's going to be really hard to work it. Trust me, you don't want to. Braining a dry hide's just really difficult. Just takes multiple brainings to get it to where you need it to be. It's hard. So I prefer it right here. And then Some people leave it sit for a few days, and some people a few hours. I'm probably gonna let this sit overnight rolled up. The reason for that is because I've always had good success letting it brain overnight, and it's never really needed to go past that for hair on hides, especially deer. But for the thickness of these two, it should only take overnight. If it was an elk or something, I might re-brain it tomorrow and let it sit another day, but I think for these we're looking pretty cherry. Okay, so you can see I didn't brain there, but I brained here, and you'll want it to look all like you smeared French fry sauce on it. That's what you want, like a French fry sauce look on your mother's blue towel and your brother's picnic table. Yes, that is what we're looking for. The other deer hides over here, I haven't got to braining it yet. And get the edges really well. You don't want those to stiff up on you. It's not very fun. Hey, Tank. Tank, that's not yours. Look out for dogs. They really like brain and hides. Yes, looking good. I get the tails too. If you can save the tail, it's gonna be a prettier, more appealing hide, in my opinion. Okay, coming in here, looking nice. Hey, kitten, back up. Actually, you can have at it, kitten. You're not a dog. Dogs are big, they destroy stuff. All right, this should all look like you've got a nice paste of deer brain on it before you roll it up. Remember, try not to get any on the hair. I know some people do. I would just try not to get any on the hair because it can make the hair slip in some cases. And then when you fold it up, you're gonna fold it flesh on flesh or skin on skin, and then you're gonna fold it as nice as you can and roll her up. Okay, I rolled up the fawn hide. Here it is. And I had to put my brain behind me right there because the kittens were helping themselves. So, here it is. This is the next hide we're gonna do. And it's a little bit thicker because I think it's because it's a yearling. It's actually quite thick. I mean, if you were gonna make like a veggie tan leather out of this, you'd have a nice leather. I mean, it wouldn't be like, look at this. She's like a freaking pine marten. She's trying to get my brain. Maple, come on. Okay. No matter, we're about to start now. So, here we are. I'm wearing a glove tonight. Some people always wear gloves, some people never wear gloves. I usually don't, but tonight it's I'm making an exception for a few reasons. One is just because it's cold out. It's just easier that way. So, just like with the other one, I always start in the center and work my way out. Really doesn't matter what way you do it. You're just smearing brain on hide like lotioning skin. I don't know if you can hear this over here, but that's how it should sound when you're braining it. That's how you know it's right. That's a good sound to me. There's the tail. Go ahead and get down there. Getting that nice pink paste look that we want. Get the edges, every last edge. Otherwise they're going to get hard and you'll either have to trim them or nobody will buy your hide, and you won't want an untrimmed hide like that, as they just don't look right. It's like, imagine a rug, right? in your house, like on the floor in front of your coffee table, or better, on your coffee table, right? And then people come over, they're like, oh, your rug is so nice, but the edges look like a warped frisbee and the center is so soft. You're gonna end up with that. I've had it happen, so that's how I know. Kind of like a coyote face. Like if you don't like take care of the lips and the nose, cut out the cartilage from the ears, you're just screwing yourself. So just do the edges. Just take care of the edges. That's all I can say. All right, now we're at the end of this. Next deer hide is done. All glazed over. All the edges are done. And then just make sure, roll the brain over your edges. Like, just make sure that every edge is done up nice. You want every bit of this to be brained. Otherwise you're gonna, like I said, have to do a lot of trim work. You want the tail to be done. And don't worry if brain gets on the edge here. It's not going to be getting onto the skin of the other side. And you can comb that out later with a wire brush. That's how I do it, because it both softens the hair and also gets rid of anything. And I mean anything. Like if you've ever run one of those over your face, you would know what I mean. Now, this is accomplishing feeling. So now we're just gonna roll it up here. And like I said, just move it so that it's skin to skin. Skin to skin. Close it up. I usually just tuck the tail in like right there. Get your everything. Roll up, roll that. Roll your open parts in. Move that over there. Roll that in too. And I'll tuck this end inside probably, just as long as it's covered up. And that's the neck, so if it gets brain on it, I usually end up trimming some of the neck anyway. Now the cleanup crew is allowed to do their job. All right, and then after this, just roll it up even more. Move it in and roll it up. And I only roll it up for a small amount of time. Like I said, usually only overnight or so. And there's our two hides. I always was always kind of upset that I never had a mentor in this business of hide tanning. But I was only upset till recently. Because before I went fishing, this was about like March or so, I just kind of looked back on everything that I'd done. Actually, it was February, because it was the gun show, and everything that I had done to that point. And I made a lot of mistakes tanning through the winter. But because I was the guy people were still always giving me hides just to practice on. And I appreciate that immensely. Like it means the world to me. But any hide I was given, I would just treat it like I'd see it through. So, sorry, the cats are messing around over there. But the reason now I don't feel bad about not having a mentor is I've done enough of my own practice, and I've done enough of my own hides to kind of realize what to do and what not to do. And when you can make your own mistakes and lose thousands of dollars worth of hides untanned, because of weather, because of not having a place to put them, because of having so many, being blessed with so many. I mean, that's really tough. But what do you do? So last year, I made a few buckskins and I turned them into things and sold them at events. And they were pretty popular. People seem to like my buckskin. It's pretty soft. I still have a little practice to do to fine-tune my technique. Furs I was doing, people, especially one friend who's a trapper. He's a buddy of mine. He's got me a lot of my practice furs for the fur bearer species. I mean, like raccoon and coyote. So I got a lot of practice in tanning those. And I never really messed up on one. I just learned how I would do it better next time. A lot of people have come up to me and said, like, oh, you never had a teacher, but you just YouTubed a lot, huh? The truth is I never had like an internet device until like like this year, honestly. And that's because I was going on the boat. So my family didn't want me going out there with a flip phone because they wanted to FaceTime me every once in a while. So I didn't really ever want an internet device either because the flip phone was fine, but now I've got a normal phone. I still don't YouTube. Sometimes I will, for an idea. But I don't research using YouTube. I need to feel it. I need to see it. The best advice I could offer you is the best advice that I've come across, and that's wherever you are, you find your community. You go to, say, a gun show or a local Christmas fair, any kind of craft event, a farmer's market, Highland games, Viking events, mountain man rendezvous. Find anyone you can find who knows anything about tanning or has ever tanned any hide, whether it was just a deer hide, who tans rabbit hides, someone who tans their own furs that they trap, or just someone who's thrown in the towel at tanning a cowhide. Just figure out what they do and learn from it, whether they succeeded or failed. Because it will do you no harm to ask for advice and they just say they sucked at it. Because then at least they tell you how they sucked at it. You don't have to suck the same. And that's what I've learned. And it's helped me a lot. And read articles, read books, talk to people, find the old timers. That's what I would recommend. Find the old timers and find the new guys too. Because there's some really smart new guys who are up with the tanning times. So yeah, and that's the advice I've got for tanning. I look forward to the next project.